If only I would have known these tips that I'm about to give you in my younger days, then I would have saved myself a lot of heartache and pain. Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. This is the Single Mother's Life, where we talk about all things faith, health, and wealth. And in this video, I am going to give you ladies 6 things you can learn about a man according to the Bible. I hope you're ready for this too. So ladies, now by no means is this a man bashing video. I don't condone to men bashing. I don't condone to women bashing. I don't condone to people bashing at all, because no person is perfect. All of the topics that I'm giving you is coming from Genesis. There is one that may not come from Genesis, but I would encourage you to read through the Bible or the book of Genesis, because this is the creation of mankind, and this is the way God created relationships. This is the way God created a man, to start a relationship, or this is the way God created a man to want a woman. Let's get right into it, ladies. I'm not gonna make y'all wait. Thing we can learn about a man according to the Bible is that no man is perfect. All throughout the Bible, you see that God uses men. He uses women too, but that's not that's another topic. That's not for this video. But he uses imperfect men. No man that God created was perfect except Jesus himself. So ladies, if you are looking for the perfect man, then you are going to disappoint yourself. You are going to set yourself up for heartache. You're going to set yourself up for frustration, and you're going to set yourself up for pain. And I think that's where a lot of man bashing comes from, is when we put our expectations in a man being perfect and not put our expectations in a perfect God. We read throughout Genesis. We look at Abraham. Abraham was a liar. Abraham lied and said that Sarah was not his wife, and that's how he got his rich. He was not perfect, but did God stop using him? No. When we think about Noah, God saved Noah because God said that Noah was the only righteous one in his sight. But yet after the flood, Noah got drunk and fell asleep naked. So does this mean Noah was perfect? No. But think about Moses. Moses was a murderer, but yet God still used him to deliver the children of Israel. David was a murderer, an adulterer, and he was a fornicator, but yet he was still the king. He was still a man after God's own heart. So ladies, when you sit down and make these lists of everything you want in a perfect man, you got to sit down and think about how no man is perfect. No man is going to be your savior. No man is going to be your Jesus Christ, because in the Bible there was no perfect man. The perfect man does not exist. The perfect man walked this earth nearly over 2,000 years ago, and that was Jesus Christ himself. The second thing we can learn about men based upon the Bible is that if a man wants you, ladies, he's going to do whatever it takes to get you. He's going to pursue you. He's going to work for you. He's going to work hard for you. And how do I know this? Because I read the story of Jacob and Rachel. I love this story. I love it so much, I'm actually going to read it to y'all. It's in Genesis 29:18-10, and it goes a little something like this. Starting in Genesis 29:18, he said, Jacob was in love with Rachel and said, I'll work for you 7 years in return for your younger daughter Rachel. So this was Jacob talking to Laban, who was his uncle. Rachel was Laban's daughter. And Jacob, he saw her and he knew he wanted her. He had to have her. So he told Laban, like, look, I work for you 7 years in return for your daughter. He was willing to work 7 years for a woman that he wanted. If this is how he did back in the biblical days, this is how God created, a man's heart to be, then it's no different than in these days. I know the world is so twisted and perverse, but if the right man wants you, He's going to do what it takes to get you. You're not going to have to do all the extra stuff. You're not going to have sex with him. You're not going to have to, buy him things. You're not going to have to do all the extra stuff. All you're going to have to do is be yourself. You're just going to have to be a woman and allow him to be a man. Let him work for you. Let him pursue you. Back to the scripture. Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than to some other man. Stay here with me." So Jacob served 7 years to get Rachel, but they seemed like only a few days to him because of his love for her. So 7 whole years this man worked for this woman because he wanted her, because he knew that she was the one for him, without her having to do a thing but sit there and, do her thing. She wasn't saying, "Oh, hurry up. It's been 3 years, Dad. Why are you making him work this long?" So some of y'all praying to God for a husband, but this man is working for you. He told God, like, "God, look, I want you to send me a wife. I want you to send me a godly wife. I'm willing to do the work for her." So this man is getting prepared for you. He's actually working right now for you. Chill out, ladies. That man is doing his part for you. In the meantime, you just ask God what you need to do while this man is doing the work that he has to do to get you. Because God is your father. He got to go to God and ask God for you. And then God in return is going to make him do the work for you. If you don't know the story, I would, encourage you to go ahead and read the rest of Genesis 29. But Laban, he deceived Jacob, and he gave Jacob his younger daughter Leah after Jacob had worked 7 years. And then Jacob agreed to work another 7 years for Rachel. So in total, Jacob worked 14 years for his wife. He worked 14 years for the woman that he loved. He worked 14 years for the woman that he wanted. So when I read this and I thought back on my life, like, Lord, it's like I was working for the men. They weren't doing nothing for me. Y'all, some of the ladies watching this, I know you can relate, but it's like I was doing most of the work, when the scriptures clearly tell us that a man is supposed to work for you, not the other way around. Like, you are the favorite, you are the prize. He's supposed to work for you. So make him put in the work, ladies. Make him put in the work. The third thing we can learn about a man, according to the Bible, is that a man wants a woman who is kind, and he wants a woman who is full of life. A man do not want a woman who is mean, who claps at them off all the time, who walks around man bashing, who is not happy with life. He doesn't want a woman who's stingy, who doesn't want to give. Earlier on in Genesis, I read about Abraham, and Abraham had a son by the name of Isaac. And when Abraham was about to die, he sent his servant out to find Isaac a wife. Abraham's servant prayed certain things that he wanted as a sign to know that the woman he chose would be Isaac's wife. Rebecca was found at the well. She was drawing water from the well. So the servant asked Rebecca, like, "Hey, could you give me a drink of water?" Which this was his prayer to God, like, "God, the woman who agrees to give me a drink of water and give my camels a drink of water, then I'll know that she is the woman." This is an act of kindness. What if Rebecca would have said, "I don't want to give your camels no water. You were supposed to be giving me some water. You draw this water from this well for me. This is a man's job. Why I gotta?" What if she would have been complaining? What if she would have been mean and nasty? And do you think her story would have ended with her being Isaac's wife? I don't think so. So ladies, let's try to be kind. Like, instead of focusing on when we're going to get a man or when a man is going to walk into our life, let's ask God to give us a kind heart. Let's ask God to give us the right mind, so we can, when that man see us, he'll know us. Because Isaac's servant, he knew Rebecca because of her kindness. Also, a man wants a woman who's full of life. And how do we know this? Because as we continue to read about Jacob's story, remember I told you earlier that Jacob was given the younger daughter Leah. It says that Jacob loved Rachel because she was beautiful to look at, but Leah had weak eyes. Now, the Bible does not say she was ugly. The Bible does not say she was unattractive because, you know, God doesn't make ugly things. But she had weak eyes, meaning, in my opinion, I think she walked around sad. She walked around depressed. She walked around full of cares. And she walked around with low self-esteem. She wasn't vibrant. She wasn't full of life. She wasn't full of energy. And she didn't attract Jacob's attention. So I know most of you may be saying, well, I don't think I have to change myself to get a man. That's your opinion, but you have to change yourself to get anything you want. When I started business, kind of going off the topic, I thought I would get in and just go on clients in after clients after clients, but I went on a journey of self-development. I went on a journey of purging. I went on a journey in my life that is going to help me to be a better businesswoman. So with anything in this life, it takes self-development. The fourth thing we can learn about men, according to the Bible, is that a man wants a woman who's doing something with her life. A man doesn't want a woman who's just sitting around waiting on him to come save her. He wants a woman who's walking in her purpose, who's working, who's making, you know, a difference, and who has something of value going on about herself. For example, when we read the story of Ruth and Boaz, it's a popular story. I'm sure you heard of the story of Ruth and Boaz. We find that Boaz, he was very rich. He noticed Ruth when she was working in his field, picking grain. She wasn't noticed, standing somewhere looking pretty, flipping her hair, with her face, makeup on fleek, jewelry on fleek, outfit on fleek. She was working. She was picking grain in Boaz's field. That's how she was noticed. That's how she was chosen. That's how she was picked. So a man doesn't want a lazy woman who doesn't have anything going for herself. A good man at that, contrary to popular belief. We already spoke about Rebecca. Rebecca was drawing water from the well. You know, she was doing what would be considered a man's job. Rebecca was doing it, but she was noticed while she was working. Rachel was watering her father's flock when she was noticed by Jacob. All of these women were working when they was noticed by their husbands. They were doing something for themselves. They was doing something that brought value to their lives. The fifth thing that we can learn about a man through the Bible is that a man will continue to sleep with you and have babies by you even if he don't love you. So let's think about Abraham. If you back up a couple of chapters in Genesis, you'll read about Abraham and Sarah's story, and you'll read about how Abraham slept with Hagar, the maid, and he didn't love her, but he had a baby by her, which was not God's promise. You know, the baby wasn't a mistake. Ishmael wasn't a mistake, but it wasn't God's promise. Abraham didn't love Hagar, but he slept with her and he got her pregnant. Let's talk about Jacob and Leah. The Bible says that Leah had multiple babies by Jacob. Jacob kept sleeping with Leah, but the Bible also says that Jacob did not love Leah. He kept sleeping with her and having babies by her. So this clearly shows us that just because a man sleeps with you, just because he has babies with you, does not mean that he loves you. It means that you need to boss up, you need to be bold about your situation, and you need to leave this man alone. You know, if he's not committed to you, if he's not committing to you via marriage, if he hasn't put a ring on your finger, then you need to leave this man alone, because you're giving up your power. You're giving up your power while he's keeping his power. His power is commitment. Your power is your body. You know, men want sex, women want commitment. Those are our greatest two powers. And as long as you keep giving up your power to him, he's going to continue to use you in whatever way you're allowing him to use you. So number 6. The sixth thing that we can learn about a man based on the Bible is that a man knows if you're the one for him. It doesn't take a man 25 years to know if he wants to marry you or not. He's not going to string you along if he really wants to marry you. When we go back to the Bible, we can see the story of Adam and Eve. the first human beings, the first relationship that God created. And we see that as soon as God brought Eve to Adam, he said, this is flesh of my flesh, bones of my bones. He already knew that Eve was his wife. He knew it. It didn't take forever. It did not take him years to figure out if he wanted to be with her, if he wanted to marry her. He didn't string her along. Jacob and Rachel. Jacob knew that when he saw Rachel, that Rachel was his wife. It didn't take him years to figure it out. Now, it took him years to work for her. It took him years to get her, but it didn't take him years to figure out that she was his wife. These points is not to shame anybody. All of us has been through this. Me, myself, I probably was the worst one. Like, I've gave my body to countless men, you know, when they didn't put in any effort. They wasn't committed to me at all. It was just me trying to use sex to get them to commit to me, which will never work, ladies. It'll never work. I bought men things, you know, trying to buy love. I've tried to get men attention with my body, with my looks, you know, all of it. But I had to realize that none of these things is what is going to get a man to commit to me. The only thing, of course, physical beauty is going to attract a man. But physical beauty is not going to keep a man. So, ladies, while you are single, while you are in your single season, I would encourage you to study the Bible. You know, study the men of the Bible, the first men of the Bible, and their relationships, how they got their women. Study how they work for their women. Study how they thought about their women, you know, and that will give you a clue on how a man is supposed to approach you. That will give you a clue on how a man is supposed to treat you. First and foremost, I would encourage you, ladies, to develop a relationship with God, because he is the Father and he will show you how a man is supposed to treat you. So, ladies, I hope this video helped. I hope you got some peace and clarity regarding, you know, the men, regarding dating, regarding how a man is supposed to treat you, regarding how a man is supposed to come at you. I hope you got some clarity. I hope if you're waiting and your desire is for marriage, then I pray that this brought you some clarity, that let you know that that man, he's prayed for you and he's working for you. So you just stay in position and you allow God to do a work in you, so that when God bring you two together, then you'll have a long-lasting marriage that glorifies God. So I love you, ladies, and I hope this video blessed you all, and I will talk to you in my next video.